Everybody can make it here tonight. We have first thing we're going to have is our roll call and the Pledge of Allegiance, and please stay standing, and Mr. Rodney Hennigan will lead us in our invocation. You going to call the roll first, Andre? I said you in your order, baby. You made it.
Mr. Hayes.
Here.
Mr. Cryer.
Here.
Mrs. Bates. Present. Mr. Rocca.
Here.
Mr. Brown.
Present.
Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. That ain't what's on it. Shout out to me. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rodney?
Oh, Heavenly Father, I humbly approach you in the name of your precious Son, Jesus Christ. Lord, as my sight is focused on you, my heart is filled with thanksgiving. Not too long ago, in the recent past, you heard our prayers, asking for jobs and stability. Indeed, across our entire country. Lord, I am so thankful to have the problems that we are associated with today. Because, Lord, a wise man once said, be careful at what you ask for. You ask for a state, you receive the whole earth. Father, your generosity is so wonderful. And while I have your attention, dear Lord, I would like to bring to mind that the 6 Marines and 2 Nepalese soldiers on missions of mercy in an earthquake-ravaged land gave their life in the greatest demonstration of love for you. And Lord, I would like to thank you for the protection and the successful raid on those that would cause your people harm in Syria. And Lord, I would like to thank you for the protection that you provided the citizens of Waco through our warriors of blue. Thank you, Lord, for protecting everyone. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Okay, council, on K on your agenda will be removed by Mr. Wilride, our chief of police. That's K. K will be removed from your agenda. Everything else will stay. We have a request by Mr. Mark Borrell on E. And what I'm going to ask you to do when we get there would be to table that to see if he can extend it. I really don't know whether he can take it off due to the fact that it's just late, okay? So if you don't mind, E will be tabled if you don't mind, okay? The first thing we have tonight is something that's pretty nice. We have Aunt Toby here with us. Aunt Toby is my uncle's aunt, and she is turning 100 Friday. Is that correct? Friday or Saturday? Friday. So I have something here for Aunt Toby, and then Jeremy and Skeeter will address our students of the month, and then we'll get to the consent calendar after that. Okay, Scott. Where you at, Scott? Get Aunt Toby up there, Paul. This is not really. This is a proclamation saying happy 100th birthday to Miss Toby Oldham Day. Now and therefore resolved that proclaim, I, Bob Hardy, Mayor of the City of Westlake, here proclaim the 22nd of May as Toby Oldham Day. And I didn't know it was Miss Chloe. I didn't know that name. I do as Aunt Toby. I appreciate it. You and Jeremy are up. Okay?
pleasure and an honor for us to be able to do this this evening. FP1S with our favorite middle school, and as a high school sports official and middle school official, that they're one of my favorite schools to call the sports center. So that's good. So we want to honor our students who have excelled this year, and these are becoming the student of the month. At first one, we're going to give this out of the 6th grade is Miss Haley Estate. Miss Haley Estate. Okay.
Probably the one from.
The next 6th grade is Kane Gill. Kane Gill. So I didn't know I was that bad of an official. Let's move on to the 7th grade. Jillian Elliott. Get over here. Get in between the kids. I'm loud mouth. I don't need that night.
You gotta do a group of them.
Okay, all right. Next 6th grade, 7th grade, Daxton Cormier. Okay. One of us is not doing too good here, Jacob Gable. You know, I studied all week to learn how to pronounce these names. I'm an Italian, and I'm trying to learn how to do your Cajun names, some of them.
Get ready.
Okay, here we go now with the, in the 8th grade, McKinney Bouton. Congratulations. Okay, and our other 8th grade student, Tristan Duhon. Tristan Duhon.
Okay, we have some cookies and punch for our kids in the Dorothy Connor. RV, is that right, ma'am? And this item 6, I don't understand what that is. I guess that's something else. That's not here. We don't have that on the agenda. James Duon? Nothing? It's nothing on the agenda, sir. The annexation, council seats. Now, Maddie Borrell, Elizabeth Borrell. It's got RV. Is that on the RV park you want to talk? Okay. Okay, well, Elizabeth Street will be tabled, so you won't have to go on that one, ma'am. The next one, John Canner. He's got a question mark. I'm kind of lost too. John Canner on Jones?
Yes, sir. The only question I had was,
Sir, is there a part of the agenda you'd like to speak on?
I let Steve talk on my part.
Okay, so Mr. Canner, you don't want to speak? Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Give Steve.
And Kenny, yours was on 9, 6, and
Give Steve talk on my part.
Okay. He's already on the list. Yes, he can.
where's he at?
Stephen. What's your name?
Oh, Steve Doran. Oh, I didn't recognize you. I got you, Steve. Okay. All right. And we have all the others. What about Kitty Davado? Am I saying that right? You have a question mark by yours. What is that over? Forget it? Okay. I just don't want to forget anybody. Okay, I think I'm straight. Let's have a cookie and punch. Miss Becky back here made some cookies, and then we'll come back to the meeting. Okay, we'll call the meeting back to order. Miss Connor, let's get back to order where we can get this done. Okay? Okay, council, the first thing you have is on your consent calendar. I think you've all seen it. I need a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar. I have a motion by Mr. Rocca.
To approve.
I have a second by Mr. Hayes. All in favor? It's unanimous. We have no bids. The first thing is I need a motion and a second to approve or disapprove appointing Todd Barnett to the Westlake Real Estate Board. This is under the recommendation of Mayor Hardy. This is filling the seat of Tommy Buckner, okay? Todd, you here? Yeah. He ain't made it.
I saw him. I thought I saw him earlier.
Todd bailed out on us already? Okay. All right, I have a motion by Mr. Brown and a second by Mr. Rocca. All in favor? It's unanimous. That's to approve, yes. The next one, I need a motion and a second to approve or disapprove the moratorium on the billboards. And we have some people who want to speak on that after you make your motion. Mr. Hayes, what's your motion?
Yeah, I make a motion that we table this thing for right now, Mayor Hardy, until the attorney can give us some more input on that so we can get some guidelines set up on this.
Okay, so I need a second.
I second it.
Mr. Rocca seconded. All in favor for tabling? Anyone that would like to address what they're basically saying is if we and please turn off your cell phones, Skeeter.
That was
Okay.
bad timing.
Bad timing. Your wife calling you. Look, what they're doing there is our ordinance for signs is very, very laxed. It doesn't address the new type of signs and where they're at and all the other. And once you open and take the moratorium off, then it's free game for everybody. And the council would like to take it and look at all the signs, look at the adjustment. Y'all gonna put 2 people on that? And who would they be? Skeeter, give me that phone.
Put it in the toilet.
Hey, Mayor, me and Mr. Brown can do it.
That'd be fine. All right, Andre, you got that? Kenny and Jeremy will look at that and bring it back to us, and we'll look at the sign ordinance before we were doing. Who all signed up on the signs? Anybody?
That's Bruce Hart right there for that.
No, that's all. That's it. No one else. Okay. Motion carries unanimous, Andrea. Okay. The next one is a motion and a second to approve or disapprove the zoning's approval of lots 7 and 8 on Dewey Street. That's the building of Mr. Donald Watley's 2 sets of duplexes. I have a motion by Mr. Rocca
To approve the zoning's approval.
and a second by Mr. Hayes. Who else would like to speak? Let's see.
Mr.
Is there
Watley.
anybody? Mr. Watley, you're the only one and you're not signed up, so sir, just sit tight. Anybody got a motion? Anybody got a vote? Need a vote, please. All in favor is for, unanimously. Okay, the next one, need a motion and a second to approve or disapprove the zoning's disapproval of the rezone of Miller Avenue for an RV park. Need a motion and a second to,
A motion, well, here.
there you go, thank you, sir.
Make a
Mr.
motion
Rocca?
to approve the disapproval of the RV park by the board.
And I need a second. I have a second by Mr. Hayes. Okay, we have a few people that want to talk. That's Whitney Fritzinger. Whitney? And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll have 3 minutes, ma'am, and your time has started now.
Okay, I am in opposition to it. I do live directly across the street from the proposed property. Since the last meeting, I know.
Honey, they can't hear you. I'm sorry, Mayor.
Oh, that's good. I am in opposition to it. I do live directly across the street from the proposed property. Traffic is very thick on Miller Avenue. I know some of you were at the zoning meeting and you heard all my information. Decrease in traffic and property value, an increase in traffic on Miller, McKinley, and Sulphur Avenue. And when Sulphur Avenue eventually goes under construction, they're just going to reroute to McKinley from both ways to get through. We did walk McKinley Street last week, and I have put you a copy of a petition in there. We knocked on every occupied house. Almost everybody answered that was occupied, and nobody was for it. Nobody on McKinley Street, which they will be directly affected by it, wanted it. It is very near the school, and another one of our concerns is the students who walk from Westwood home and the students who walk from SPR Net home who have to cross McKinley Street. That's a heavy increase in traffic with the 51 proposed spots. Assuming they all just have one vehicle, that's 50 extra vehicles, but they can have up to 3, if I recall correctly. So that's upwards of 100 plus vehicles coming through the area. And it's still at the port expansion where people are coming and going. There's traffic already through there right by the school. There are school zones, which are heavy traffic times for people going to work and people commuting through Westlake. Like I said, the entrance is in a very dangerous spot on Miller Avenue. A few months ago, we had a young man roll his vehicle upwards of 5 to 6 times right down the front of right in front of our house right there. It's not the first time, probably won't be the last. It's in the middle of 2 curves. Noise pollution, that's a heavy increase. That land does flood very, very up to 4 feet, I think was after Ike. I mean, from the measurements on the pictures of the poles we have. You know, safety of our families with the extra traffic. And I just hope you'll continue with what our zoning board has proposed before you. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Dorothy Connor.
Y'all will be pleasant. I want to compliment y'all on that ordinance. I read over the RV ordinance because this one is going to affect me. And I thought y'all wrote it wonderful. I like the detail in it. But I did have a couple of questions. In one area, it said there was a little over 3 acres owned for this RV park. And then another place I saw where it was 4 acres. So my concern was, had there been a formal survey so that when y'all decided that 51 spaces would be allowed, was that based on an official survey? My only other question is I'm not for or against, but I am concerned about the enforcement of the ordinance on the privacy fence, the landscaping, and the aesthetic part of it. You know, because I know we do have to have some of these things. But I was a little bit concerned, and I asked Andrew about it, how we enforce some of those rules that were so great, like outbuildings and that kind of thing, to make sure that it's maintained over the years. And I'm not sure, so I have more questions than anything.
Come to me and I'll answer those questions.
Okay, but I do want to compliment you on the ordinance, the details, and I think y'all did a super, super job.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, next up, Maddie Borrell.
I'd like to say that I went to the zoning meeting the other night. I do not know Mr. Rockeye, but after listening to all the people on Baghdad Road especially, with their dissension of the idea for whatever reason, I decided to do a little research. So I went to the Calcasieu Parish map and saw that Mr. Rockeye's Mr. Basco's property is probably zoned heavy in industry. It's right next to the Harbor and Terminal District property where all the action's going on right now because of Sasol. Across the street from him is a crane rental company. It's also my understanding that you people have already made up your mind how you're going to vote, and that's not fair to Mr. Basco. He's been told by several council members that, you know, that you're not going to approve his property. I don't think that that's good government when you make a decision before you hear new evidence or whatever. And for as far as I'm concerned, if his property is indeed heavy industry, he could go in there and put a barge facility in there, and that'd give everybody something to look at. And the people on Baghdad Road, their main concern was looking across the water and seeing this RV park. And I say, if you can afford an RV, they're quite expensive. They should have a place to park it. And with the housing crisis we're expecting, why not allow this man to utilize that property for this crisis? And it also puts money into the coffers of Westlake. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Tammy Hardy.
I just wanted to bring up that it was his property is zoned single family, and it's not industrial. I know it's an industrial area, but I was just coming tonight to say I am opposed to it, and we spoke at the zoning board. The zoning board had made their decision unanimously, and we just hope that you would uphold that decision that the zoning board made.
Okay, I think that's all. All in favor of Mr. Rocca's disapproval? Mr. Bosco, are you on here, sir?
No, sir, I didn't think I had to be. I thought I was already.
No, you need, but that's okay. Come on in. We good?
I just got, like Ms. Borrell just said, it seems like that all the city council that I have spoken to is already against me right off the bat. And it is my understanding that the city is in a financial bind right now. And how can you say that you're against the RV park that would bring revenue into the city when our city is broke? I'm confused on why y'all are against it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Mr. Bosco.
Yes, ma'am.
My husband and I are an RVer, okay? We have an RV.
Yes, ma'am.
And we love camping, and we love traveling. But we have a variance committee, and we have a zoning committee.
Yes, ma'am.
And they are the ones that listen to the people, investigate, and so on and so forth. We have them to guide us. And only in circumstances when we really feel that they're wrong or they're being too judgmental do we go against them. But they were all doing the right thing, and that's why we have these committees.
Do you know why they were all against it? Because all the people in the outside city limits, is not in the city limits, were for against it. And they're talking about everybody that's against it is outside the city limits. So this is revenue to bring into y'all as representatives of the city of Westlake. How can y'all say no to revenue that's going to come into the city?
But we have the variance and the zoning committee to go ahead.
It's not a question and answer, Mr. Bosco. Just express your views.
I understand it's not a question and answer, but I'm just saying, because of a few people that don't want it, or the people outside the city limits that can't even vote for y'all and vote y'all in, then y'all are still looking at the negativity.
I was on the variance committee.
We got your point, sir.
And I mean, I was on the variance committee for years, for 8 years, and there are many times that I got voted against.
Right.
And I understand, but I am for whatever they decide.
So what is the city what do we need a city council for if we're gonna go by the variance?
Sir, we're not.
Okay,
We're not there. Thank you. Thank you. I'll ask for a vote.
I'd just like to say something.
All right, go right ahead.
I mean, Arnold, I'm really mixed on this because I do see that the city needs the revenue.
Yeah.
We are in a financial difficulty. And then I see a lot of people may be in opposition because of this would be, they're looking at it as a man camp type thing, these people coming in. And my question would be, if this was 7 years from now, or if this would have been 4 years ago, would we have approved the RV then? Yeah, I mean, and that's what I think, the thing I think about when I look at that part, being in that particular area. Because before Arnold went out there and fixed up that property, there was an eyesore out there. I mean, there was nothing there before that. So I'm really mixed on it. I just wanted y'all to hear my voice on that, because I am mixed on that part of it.
I had my name on there to speak to. I went over.
Sir, you come up to the front, sir. You had that you were going to write. You wanted to talk on Elizabeth. That's why I didn't.
Right. Well,
Sorry.
I told you I was going to speak on this matter.
Okay.
The last meeting, I had no idea about the property that Mr. Vasco has, but since then I went and looked at it myself. If I was looking for a place to put my RV, I was from out of town, that'd be a nice spot. I just want to, let everybody know the houses in the neighborhood, there's a couple of nice houses, but if I was building a house, I wouldn't put it there. There's buildings over there, industry. It's just a not very aesthetic place for a home, but it is a nice place for an RV park up on the river. Thank you.
Mayor, I'm kind of like Councilman Brown there. I was kind of mixed on this myself until I went to the zoning board meeting. And what is the purpose of having a zoning board? These guys listen to every aspect of it. And, I looked at both sides of it. I really didn't see anything wrong. But these folks that have been put on this zoning board voted 5-0 against it, To me, if it was a 3-2 vote or 2-3 vote, it'd be something to look at. But we got to have confidence in our zoning boards, our variance boards, and our real estate boards. If not, why do we even have them?
Any other discussion?
Well, I'd just like to say, if it doesn't pass, Arnold, I would hope that you would, still consider doing something with the property out there.
But I'll pay your money.
I mean,
$80 is cheap.
I would still hope that you would look maybe somewhere down the road that something else would be able to happen. If it doesn't, it may. Who knows? We hadn't voted yet, so. All right.
Any other discussion? I ask you to vote. Ms. Bates?
What is it?
The motion to.
The motion by Mr. Rocca is to approve the disapproval. In other words, you're approving the zoning board's vote. Mr. Rocca, I had to clear it. Vote again, sir. Okay, it's 3-2. Hayes for, Cryer for, Rocca for, and Bates and Brown are against. So it does pass. It is disapproved. Mr. Borrell, I really don't know, being a new mayor only 4 months, when something comes in 30 seconds before the meeting, if we can do this or not. I don't know whether we can table his. He'd like to take it off the table right now and bring it back. But I think he's going to have to go through the same process again down the line, right? You'd have to bring it back, is that right, Ms. Macy? He'd have to bring it back through the board and everything. So if we table it, it's dead, or if they vote on it, either way, right?
Correct.
Okay. So what do y'all want to do?
I thought if we tabled before, we've tabled, like for the business right next to your house over there, and we came back and voted on, we looked at the board's decision again, We tabled where, what's his name from Sulphur wanted to add that place over there? What was the name of it?
Can we?
Right, and I think
Palermo,
that's what we
yeah,
decided. I think what we're unsure about is if
If
it's
he has-
his action as opposed to the council's action, can he bring it up?
That's correct, ma'am.
So I think the best thing to do would probably be to table it now and let us look at what he needs to do.
I need a motion.
But
to
he won't
table.
have to go before the board again. The board has already made the decision. Right.
Okay.
So
So
really,
it just comes back to the council.
it's gonna come right back to the council. It's gonna be this.
Okay.
I wouldn't have to pay another fee again to be elected.
I ain't gonna tell you that. I honestly can't tell you that, sir. Okay, I hear you. I have a motion by Ms. Bates to what?
To table it.
Need a second. Second by Mr. Brown. All in favor of table, please vote. Mr. Rocca voted not to table. Everyone else is for. It is tabled. Okay. The next one we have is for me to enter into a contract between the state of Louisiana for a contract of $150,000 from the LCDGB block grant. I need a motion and a second to approve me doing that. Motion by Mr. Brown, second by Mr. Hayes. And I need a vote from Mr. Rocca and Mr. Hayes. It's unanimous. The next one is a resolution giving the mayor and pro temp and the city clerk authorization to sign these documents. That's all it is to sign the documents you just approved. Mr. Brown made a motion. Mr. Rocca seconded. All in favor? Unanimous. Okay, the next one, need a motion and second to approve or disapprove discussing going away with the designated council seats. Okay, this is a discussion item only. If you want to take any action, you must add this action to the agenda next month, okay? Mr. Cryer made a motion to discuss, and Mr. Hayes seconded. It's open for discussion. I have one person, Mr. Whittington, would like to speak. Mr. Jimmy, you up. Behave yourself now. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
That's cool. But I believe with all my heart that this deal with voting at large is the best thing for Westlake. Because if you got seats or districts, I believe, like, take for instance the election that just happened. All right, Mr. Rocca lives in the old part of Westlake, and Mr. Lynn Pauley lives at the golf course.
That's correct.
So how can they be in the same district?
Well, it's not really district.
Well,
it's just
the
a
same seat.
It's a seat. Okay, it's like picking a seat.
Well, how
there's
come you
all
can't-
kind of different. This is a discussion. Okay, Mr. Cryer wanted it, and here's a lot of the discussion. We had this discussion 7, 8 years ago when I was on the council, and the issue is you do not have to vote for 5 when you go vote. You can only vote for 1 if you want to. Last time that the 5 was at large, there was 700 votes not cast. Okay, so what you do, it becomes, you just vote for me and I'll vote for you, and you don't vote for me and I'll vote for you, and you get your group to vote for
Yeah, but you get to vote for whoever you want.
That's right, but you don't pull 5. So let's just say, and this is just my opinion, they can do what they want. I'm not running for that again, I can assure you. I sure ain't running for this again, okay? Maybe.
I think, Mayor, what Jimmy wanted was just an opportunity for this new council
To decide.
to have a vote.
Right.
The old way or the new way, and I wanted to give him that opportunity.
That's correct, and that's fair. That's all but good. And there's a lot of ways to look at it, guys. We looked at it as 4 designated seats and 1 at large, like DeQuincy. Vinton has 3 designated seats, 2 at large. There's a lot of ways to do it. You can discuss it. You can get with our attorney. Ms. Macy is filling in tonight for Stephen, and you decide what you want to do, and it's wide open, okay? And that's what the discussion's about tonight. And it's open for anybody else.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? Thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah, Mayor, I really don't have a problem either way, you know. I need to see, do we have to do anything in Baton Rouge, any decision we make?
Yeah, you make a decision within about 1.5 years before the vote, before it changes. It takes about 1.5 years to get it in and get it to the right way. You can do it any way you want to do it.
Yeah.
But just keep in mind, and I can show you numbers, that it's awful strange, okay? So designated seats, 2, 3, 1, all, whatever you want, let our attorney know and we'll do it.
I'm not advocating we getting too complex with the, I've heard people say, I like it better the old way. And Jimmy had been asking, so I think that would be the only way, either do it the old way or we do it the way we're doing it right now.
That's what I keep hearing every day, is that.
It's your call, bud.
Is the,
all
you know,
you. It's all
that's
right.
what the people want.
Right.
Maybe, we should do, you know, what they want for one, which, if it doesn't make that bigger difference.
Yeah, you gotta remember, you're designated seats, but you're still at large through the city. It's not like you split it like DeQuincy, they do a block, and you gotta have one from every one of the 4 areas, and one's in the middle. There's a lot of ways to do that, and you just have to set that up how you wanna do it, talk to Stephen, bring it back. You'll have to have it on the agenda exactly how you wanna do it, but that's fine.
Mr. Dillon would like to speak.
Yeah, Mr. James?
Just real quick, and I don't live in the city. The only thing I see at large is, I'm gonna bring the last election up. We had 2 councilmen that were very well known, both families well liked. By the time the election was over, they were bitter enemies. And at large is gonna eliminate that, because you can't attack somebody personally because you got 4 other or 6 other people running. That's all my only comment.
That's correct. You got a point there too. There's no doubt. Well, what happens, we'll go through some more discussion. I'll be glad to show you. I have the numbers that'll back it up, that shows you there was 700, 800. Well, Mr. Canner, you're getting to me, son. Okay, that's fine. We'll talk about it more, James. I'll be more than happy to. That's it? All right. Now, we got another one here. We have Mr. Broussard and Mr. Canner would like to talk about this, the annexation of the American Legion. Let me give you a little history. The American Legion came to me, and it wasn't Mr. Broussard or Mr. Canner or Mr. Doran. It was another one. I can't remember his name. He came to me and asked me if we would annex them, and I said, because they wanted our city sewer. And I said, the only way we can give you sewer is annex you where we can get money to, we don't annex without doing that. But tonight, we have, it looks to me like we have Mr. Broussard and Mr. Doran, and I think Steve's gonna talk for Mr. Canner. They would like to, take this off of the agenda, Mr. Letard, okay? This is headed to you. Can we do that? I don't think they're American Legion. They were under the impression that they were visiting with me to find out the yeses and the nos of this. And I wasn't here last week, and I'm very sorry it's on the agenda. So if you don't mind, would you table this for me until I can visit with the American Legion? Is that okay, Mr. Broussard, with you and Mr. Canner? Is that good, Steve? Okay, that's how we'll do it, okay? Let them come to me. They went today, and they met with Mr. Meyer about putting their sewer line in. They'll have to put in a forced main to tie into us from their unit, and we'll go through all that. They'll be in a different water district. That's not ours, so we'll cover that later. I have a motion by Mr. Hayes to table,
Yes,
and
sir.
Mr. Brown seconded. All in favor? And I'm very sorry that was on your agenda tonight. I wasn't here last week. Okay, the next one is need a motion and second to disapprove, to approve or disapprove the resolution 3212, which is setting the millage for this next year. It's the same millage again. The new millage that was voted in, which we have an addendum, which I will go over with you in a minute. This is setting it back to 6.40, okay, just like for another year, because that increase that was voted in by the people of Westlake will not go into effect to 16. So we're just setting our millage this year. I have a motion by Mr. Brown to approve, sir.
Yes, to approve.
And second by Mr. Hayes. All in favor? And that sets our millage for this year. Thank you. Mr. Wheelwright removed K. The next one is I need a motion and second to approve or disapprove reopening the police shooting range. And I have a motion by Mr. Cryer.
What is it?
To what?
To discuss.
Oh, you wanted to discuss?
Yes.
You got it. Have a motion for Mr. Cryer to discuss this. And a second by Mr. Hayes. It's open for discussion.
John? John passed this out before, also just some information.
have some questions, if, Chief, if you don't mind, or John, whoever would like to answer. Chief, how often do your officers get to train with their firearms? How often do they get to train with their firearms?
Since I've took over the firearms instructor position,
Yeah.
we do live fire training at least 5 times a year. And we do a lot of what we call dry fire also, which is no ammo, but we still do use a range for that.
And if the range were open, they'd have a lot more opportunity to train. I mean.
Yes, sir, because right now we're competing against roughly 45
Right.
other agencies with the sheriff's office
I mean,
to use their range.
Training with your firearm is pretty important. It's a pretty important thing, something that you want to be able to do.
Yes, sir.
Whenever you want to do it. And when the range was open, you had access pretty much at any time.
Yes, sir.
But now y'all don't. You have
That's
to
correct.
wait or
Either
ask
that
for
or
permission from another agency.
Or we have to pay to go to the Lake Charles Gun Club for each person to go out there.
And I mean, as chief, that's probably not a good thing.
No, especially with everything that's going on around the nation. I mean, the more training we can get with our firearms, the better to protect the citizens and keep the city out of any kind of legal issues.
Yeah, that's right, because there's restrictions by the state that y'all have to abide by, right?
Yes.
And now there's, as of last year, there's state mandated amount of hours that we have to train. And if we're having to compete with other agencies, then
And
if
y'all,
we come short, then we can actually be held liable as a city.
y'all having a hard time.
This year, yes.
And then also, if y'all allow the range to be reopened, it's gonna be restricted with certain times. We will definitely let the citizens of the golf course know, and along with the golf course also know when we're gonna be shooting, give them enough notice.
Also, y'all are gonna put barriers and burns in place?
Yes,
Yes,
we have.
we've already got the equipment and the dirt ready to go.
And we will maintain the property.
Anyone else?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm really ready to open that up right now myself, because I'm worried about, being right next to the golf course neighborhood out there. I know Mr. Young has just built a $800,000 home at the corner down there to be listening to gunfires throughout the day. And it's my understanding that y'all could still go to the sheriff's department.
That's what I was.
out at
That's what I was
Mallard?
saying. Right now, we're having to compete with 45 other agencies to go to the sheriff's office. Who is it you were saying that was he here today?
No, he's not here,
Okay.
but, I know there's other people that live on that end also, like, see
Do
Mr.
those
Polly
people
back there that.
do those
I
people
don't
work
know.
during the day?
Sir?
Do those people work during the day? Okay. Most of the time we're doing training is between the hours of 8 and 4. That way we don't have to pay extra overtime for some of our day staff to go out there.
I mean, I know some of the people out there do work shift work.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Well, that's one of the things that we listed in here, that we will be building a sound barrier along the roadway that does help deflect the sound up and out.
I believe too that they would, they would probably work with times, certain times of day, even if it's a small window, but just to give them the location and the quick access to train right there. I mean, if it's only 2 hours a day, I'm sure they would take that. Or whatever we wanted to set up. And I understand the concerns of people that live on the golf course, I really do. But I think if we have that, we need to utilize it as much as we can, especially for their sake.
And another thing, if that property continues to sit dormant, EPA can come in and make the city clean it up, which costs millions of dollars.
It's as near to our residents as it is to the golf course. And it's never bothered us. And we've been there 32 years. And so it's never really bothered us during the day.
I think under the right restrictions, that it's something that could be done right.
And I think our officers need to be trained correctly.
And then this formed, or these guidelines that we have, they can also be tweaked at any time. They can be added stricter restrictions upon it also too. This is just a simple guideline that that Detective Brewer come up with.
You done?
I'm done.
We were strictly open for discussion. That's what you wanted.
Right, we wanna, I think, in my opinion, we can vote on it now. But what I'm concerned about is I wanna make sure that everything that we're doing it's right, all the restrictions are in place, that make whatever they have to comply with, needs to be done perfectly. If that's something that we can do.
Do you want to set all that before you vote
Well,
on reopening?
I'm asking, is that something that we can do after the vote, or is that something we need to do before?
I think you would be wise to set all your restrictions ahead and know exactly who's who in the zoo before you vote, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, then I would, say let's save this till next month and we'll vote on it.
It was only for discussion tonight,
Right.
so we can put it back on there and you can
And
discuss.
that's what I'm asking, that's put back on the agenda.
Okay.
Not a problem. All right. Okay, Mr. Myers? No, wait, I have one other thing I forgot. I forgot one, Vernon. Hold on just a second. We have an addendum item that you had to sign on for tonight. We got it late from our bonding attorney. And what this is, council, is for you to approve accepting the vote for the 2016 millage setting. That's what this is about, saying you've accepted, you see the votes, it was passed. I didn't know we had to do this. I'm new at it just like you, so here we go. I need a motion and a second to approve this.
Need a motion to add it to the agenda.
Oh, need a motion to add this to the agenda first. Give me a motion to add this. Motion by Mr. Rockham, second by Hayes. All in favor? It's now on your agenda. Now you can vote on this for me. A motion by Mr. Brown.
To approve.
Second by Ms. Bates. Will you please vote? Thank you. Me and Andrea apologize for not having that to you early, but we just got it today. So that's where we're at. Mr. Delafield actually emailed it, but it was last week and we didn't get a chance. Mr. Myers, would you give us an update on the city projects, please, sir?
Yes, Mayor and Council, there's essentially no change on the project update. Going through the projects, skipping down to Johnstein improvements. We're waiting on Sasol in reference to their review of their intersection improvements that they're talking about in reference to their project expansion. And as soon as we hear back from them, then we'll continue on that. But we are working on the 90% plan submittal as we're talking about, and we'll be moving along with that until Sasol gives us their input on that project.
A little bit closer to the mic, Vernon, they can't hear you.
Okay. Next, Lyndon Ellis improvements. The status of that is that the project is funded by the state. Right now you have $1,615,000 of actual, or $625,000 actual money in what you call priority one. And this year in the budget, they've added an additional $500,000, and we will know by July 1st if that is going to be approved. Now that's just the first step. When I say approved, House Bill 2, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to sell the bonds on it. At least, in other words, then the bond commission starts meeting in July, August, and September and October. And the important part is to get that additional 500 in bond commission approval. So we're working toward that. And if the city is successful in getting the 500, we'll actually be short about $365,000 being able to complete the $3,321,000 project. That's an update where we stand at this point. Now, moving on, the only other significant change since the last report is that House Bill 2 has been introduced, and House Bill 2 is the capital outlay bill for this coming year, and Westlake has 7 projects in there, and I'll just review. Some of these have been in there, and I'll just review the 7 and go to the last page here, 4.4. You have the Emergency Response Center has a priority one of $1 million. This is actually the committed money, so that this is committed to Westlake. And then your local match on that is $333,000 plus. Project 2 is the new water well on Jones Street. That is also in a priority one, $425,000. Your local match is $141,000. Project 3 is a new project which we're trying to obtain funding for a compressed natural gas fueling station, and that's in priority 2, $1,240,000. Project 4 is another proposed project that would be utility and street improvements for a proposed hotel in West Trace, and that is a priority 2 funding of $540,000. Project 5 is, some of this money has been here for quite some time, and that's the golf course development for the clubhouse. You have priority 1 of $1,610,000, which is money that's been set aside already. It's in your cooperative endeavor agreement. Priority 2 was an additional $500,000 that we were successful in putting it in this year. Then the 6th project is a natural gas regulating station and line extension. One of your local industries is relocating, and right now they are a significant gas customer for the city, and hopefully we can keep them when they relocate, and it's going to require new gas regulating station, metering station, and some line extension, and that's what this project for, the amount of $450,000. And I already briefed you on project 7, which is Linda and Ellis. Mayor, Council, that's what I have. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer.
Okay, for some of you that don't quite understand priority 1 and 2, priority 1 means the state has the money set for us, okay?
Yes.
Like the police station, there's $1 million in Baton Rouge waiting for us, but we have to match it with $333,333. So that's a job of mine to work and find the funds. Other than we don't have it, so I'm going to industry, I'm going to Sasol, I'm going to Phillips, others. Okay, sir, if you could get me $333,000, but let's keep going. I got more. The water well is basically the Jones water well. Y'all don't know, but Sasol has basically decimated the water system in Mossville, and the parish is operating that now, and they want us to take that over. And here was the restrictions on that. We'll take it over when you rebuild the water tower and you fix the tanks and all the leaks. And we're selling them water today with a meter in Mossville that regulates, so we're getting our money for our water. But they want us to take that system over, and when they can prove to me that it's a win for us and we make revenue, we'll take that over. And the water well is to supply them water. Okay, they're going to pull a lot of water. I think they got to run a 4-inch line just for the batch plant to mix concrete 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. On the compressed natural gas station, we put it in as a 5 last year. Vernon and I did. And Vernon we went and met with our House Speaker of the House, Mr. Cleckley, and he moved it to a 2. A 2 means it could be possibly funded next year, okay? Which means we don't have to come up with any matching on that this year. The other one is the hotel motel is in a 2. In capital outlay, the way it works, you put it in as a 5, and if it goes to 3 or 4, you're never going to be funded. But Vernon and myself and others went to Baton Rouge, and ours went from 5 to 2s. 2 means you're in the bill, but they haven't sold the bonds yet. So we're closer on all these. And the golf club, the golf course building for the clubhouse, we got $1.61 million there, and it's there and it's okay. Now, we've waited 7 years. It's still okay because it's a state project. They've assured us that our money's going to still be there. And State Representative Cleckley gave us another $500,000 in it to where we can only come up with a certain part. We can possibly get that built here as soon as possible. The regulator station, we had a meeting today for the council. Y'all didn't know this. We met with the Matheson Tri-Gas. Matheson Tri-Gas is redoing their process, and their process is going to fall lower. But in the meanwhile, Boardwalk, has to reroute some lines, okay? And they wanted us to pay for a tap. Well, I think we've worked that out. If you're going to put in a new line, I'm not paying for a tap. All you got to do is make one extra 4-inch well, and I got a tap. So now we're working with them where I don't have to pay the tap fee, and Matheson Tri-Gas has gave them an acre square in their property where we don't have to run no pipe either. So we're working on that issue today, and I think we came a long way. The Linda and Ellis project is basically the only one that this city will be doing over the next 6 months, because it's probably just about 100% funded. We've been working on that for about 7 to 8 years to get all the money to do that. And what that is the north section of Linda and Ellis that flood, where the people have sandbags in their front yard. We're gonna do roads, curbs, and gutters on just the 2 north sections from the water tower north. That's all that is, just those 2 roads, not south. Not by my house, Jeremy. We're gonna do the one going the other way, okay? Want to make sure you understand that. The other thing is the computer system here at City Hall was a DOS program, ran very, very slow. It took 15 minutes to pull up a report, and now we're pulling that report up in a minute and a half. That's how slow the program was. We're 75% complete on putting in the new hardware and the new software. Howlis gave us $25,000 out of the parish. We had $23,000 in a grant, so we're upgrading that. What that will help us on is by the time you get all this done and put in the computer, we're telling people they're late on their bill when it's really here, but we can't get in the system fast enough to tell them, and we're out there cutting them off. And I'm getting my behind eat out. We're going to try to fix that. That's another thing. The other thing is we had a very good pleasant surprise last week. Most of you didn't know, and this is an update. I normally get to give this to them on Fridays, but you might as well hear it today. The Louisiana Workman Comp, we had a refund or a dividend check back from them. We paid $104,000 in Workman Comp last year, and they brought us a check. They said they were going to send us $80,000. Well, when they got here, they said, well, it ain't quite that. It's $98,000 something. So we're going to take the little bit extra that we got, and we're going to try to put in a kiosk system to where people can come to Westlake that don't want to come down that Sampson Street in the next 2 to 3 years. We're going to have it where you can pay online. You're going to be able to pay with a debit, credit card, check, cash. We take anything you can pay with. And you'll be able to drive up here outside City Hall to a talking, it's pretty slick. Video thing, you punch the button, it talks to you and tells you exactly what to do, shove your money in, it'll give you a receipt out. And it's straight in the computer that ain't running 50 years behind. That's going to help us. We have a report now that I'm done. Mr. Chris, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Give us your report, sir.
All right, we just have 3 items for y'all tonight. We got 2 grants from Phillips 66 and from the police jury in reference to getting 2 police cars. One of our police cars, a 2015 Ford Interceptor, is in. Right now it is sitting at Louisiana Radio being outfitted. The second car, while it was being transported from Chicago, was damaged on a railway. So it was sent back to Ford dealership, and they're hoping to get it to us within the next 30 days. On May 14th, we had our senior barbecue. I want to thank Becky, Miss Sue, Renee, Andrea, Sun Construction, Stephen Dwight, Hal McMillan, Richard Bagley for using his barbecue pit, Darrell Bergeron for his pit, Recreation Center, Ala Capri done the sides for us, myself and Corporal Ledette done the cooking. My officers, Lieutenant Vaillant, Sergeant Abair, and Sergeant Grantham helped serve with Lieutenant Bailey from the Sheriff's Office. Coca-Cola donated the drinks. Mr. Earl LaPointe was the DJ. Thanks to Mr. Vernon Myers, Mike Carwash, and a couple others for donating the door prizes. Overall, we think we served over 100 seniors at their dinners, and they was well pleased with it. That's it.
Thank you, Chief. A little longer than I expected, but it's all right. That's not a problem. Thank you, John. Okay, we have the financial report by Mr. Jerry Milner.
Thank you. This month there will be I have no report, but we're going to start this month and complete by our next meeting the budget. So I've been working with several of y'all to work through and the department heads to work on the budget this month, and we'll have it complete for your approval in the next month's meeting.
Okay, what you're going to get is we're going to amend and approve this year's budget with the accurate numbers, and we will start on next year's budget. Okay? Need a motion second to approve all the reports. Motion by Ms. Bates, second by Mr. Cryer. All in favor? All the reports. Need a motion to adjourn, Mr. Well, wait, Lynn, did you want something?
Could you just clarify for a second? I hear you talk about money from the state.
Yes, sir.
certain projects. Can you clarify for everybody, because I think some people have a misunderstanding of, when that money is set aside for a specific deal, it can't be utilized for anything else, is that not correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
So I think some people's misunderstanding is we have money set aside for the police station, for the golf course, and for road gutters, gutters, whatever.
Right.
And, you know, some people say, well, take that money and use it for something else in the city.
Can't do
Let
that.
them know that that can't be done.
Now, what has happened in the past is if we've moved money from here to there, and played the shell game. Well, Mr. Milner, he ain't letting me do that, okay? Mr. Milner says if we pass the tax for fire and police, that's where it goes. That's it. We have a dedicated tax for water and sewer. That's where it should go, okay? It doesn't go anywhere else. We have an accurate budget. For some of you that don't know, Mr. Jerry Milner worked for the Calcasieu Parish for 26 years. And in the police jury is their financial director. And we were fortunate enough to get him on a part-time because I told him I couldn't pay him but a little bit. But Jerry is working our $10, $12 million budget, about where we're at, somewhere in that neighborhood. And he's working it down and it's accurate. I'm telling you, you're going to see where we're at, okay? There's no hidden agenda. There's no, we want public input. You know, we asked for y'all. We didn't say we're going to ram anything down anybody's throat. We hadn't voted on anything that hadn't been heard. That's not what it's about. It's about this. I'm glad to see everybody here. You know, there's times you go, oh, Lord. Well, that's okay. That's what this is about, okay? Keep that in mind, okay? We are financially in a position that's bad, real bad. I'll give you some numbers if you'd like to hear them. If you want to come see me, I've only had one comment. Again, I do not do Facebook. I don't know how to read these hidden messages and all that. I don't know how to do that. If you want to see me, call. Come up here. Becky will get me in there. Come through that door. You don't have to come through. Just come through that door right there. Turn right, turn left. I'm in there. Door's open. More than happy to visit with you. But what happens, it was just like, you know, the proposal that was put here, what, two Mondays ago? That's what it was about. That's what this is all about. We're not hiding anything. This council hadn't hid a thing, and we're not here to hide nothing. But I'm telling you, financially, I'm looking for anything that can turn the tide and right the ship in Westlake. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you about it. Okay, that project out there that we said, okay, let's don't put the one over here at by the park. Okay, I heard you. Okay, don't do it by the park. Okay, that's a $10.5 million, possibly $12 million, with a city that owes $1 million by July, okay? When I got here, we had $865,397 of accounts payable in the back since July, with a general fund of $600,000 and $1.2 million in reserve, and you owe $1 million in April. So yes, I'm looking for some money to support the city, no doubt, no doubt. We're looking at everything that we could possibly try. Okay, but, you know, I know Mr. Bosco sitting over there saying, I'm going to send you in here, but let me tell you, we don't have an instant cure, but we're going to work on it. And just bear with the council. We're going to get it right. You know, the golf course, everybody, it's costing us, that's what's killing us. That's not true. That's the only thing that's making money. The only thing here that makes money is gas and golf, believe it or not. It ain't water and it ain't sewer. Okay, we just got an increase in sewer. When we raised rates, the next day I got a letter saying gas is going up. The transport for natural gas is going up. Boardwalk wanted to raise $3. Now we got them down to $1.50, and every time that comes in, we got to make it up. So bear with us. We're doing the best we can, and please, the ones that's on that real estate board, they don't get paid a penny. The zoning board, nothing. The variance board, nothing. These, $300 a month. Jeremy makes that on an 8-hour call out, sleeping at Sassaw, okay? So I know that. He's an operator, you know. He's sitting on the board waiting for a call. So don't, you know, be patient with everybody and remember where we're at. The other night, I wish I'd have been the monitor for in here because it got out of hand. It wasn't a question and answer. There was. I heard it in the back. You know, there were people attacking people over what we were trying to say. Come tell us what you want. one lady, I called her back and told her, I said, ma'am, I appreciate you. Because she walked up to that mic and says, I don't want it in my neighborhood. Thank you, ma'am. You know, not save the kids, not this, not to me. Guys, they're coming. They're coming. There's going to be the people here. And I thought it would be better to control them and know where they're at than to turn them loose in the neighborhood. And that's where we're at. But bear with us. We're going to try our best. Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
We had a board meeting on May the 4th, and there were 9 members present. This is on the La Ville Uni board. This is for the festival and the picnic. And so we discussed that we want an old town picnic, September the 19th, and we're going to have everybody invited, no admission. We're going to have we'll try to go ahead and if we get the donations, we're going to have maybe a hot dog stand with chips and dips and and sweets for the children. We're going to have games. We're going to have competition between children, between adults, and between families. And we're going to have traveling trophies. So we have a lot of things that we're planning on doing to have us all come together. And this is going to be the family picnic, September the 19th. And we'd appreciate you all coming. And if we don't have hot dogs for sale, bring your picnic lunch. Thank you.
I have a motion by Mr. Rocket to adjourn. Second by Mr. Brown. We stand adjourned.
You too, Jerry.
Yeah.